Hi, so today I would like to tell about preterm birth or preterm labor. Okay, so most common causes or pathogenesis of preterm birth is cervical insufficiency and infection. Keep these 2 points in mind. Okay, these 2 points are the main points in pathogenesis of preterm birth. So before initially telling about preterm birth, I want to tell some terms about what are the definitions of preterm. So generally term is 37 completed weeks. 37 completed weeks. So if it is more before that, then it's known as preterm. Again you have late preterm, early preterm, okay, very early preterm and extreme preterm. Okay, very early preterm. So first late preterm and extreme preterm. Okay, first I'll tell about extreme preterm. It is easy to come from behind. Okay, so in extreme preterm it is nothing but if the birth of the baby occurs at 20 to 28 weeks of gestation. So 20 to 28 weeks of gestation is known as extreme preterm. So if it is 28 to 32 weeks of gestation, it is very early preterm. And if it is 32 to 34 weeks of gestation, it is early preterm. And when it is 34 to 36 weeks of gestation, then it is late preterm. So if for example I'll tell, to remember this I'll tell one thing. So a pregnant lady delivered a baby at 35 weeks of gestation, so it comes under, first thing, it comes under preterm. So whether it is late, early, very early or extreme is depend upon these definitions. So 35 weeks comes under this range, so it is late preterm. So if you write diagnosis as late preterm, and it will be very good. So late preterm is nothing but 35. Something like if she delivered a baby at 31 weeks, then it comes under, see, late, early, very early, extreme. Extreme is 20 to 28, so it's not that. Late is 34 to 36, so it's also not that. So this is 28 to 32, so it comes under very, so it comes under very early preterm. Okay, so at 31 weeks if she delivered, if you write in diagnosis very early preterm labor, you will get good marks. Okay, leave with this. So that's about preterm definitions. So generally if preterm labor, if someone get preterm labor in if there is history of one preterm labor in that pregnancy, in previous pregnancy, then she has a incidence of getting 14% of chances of getting preterm labor in this pregnancy. If she has two history of preterm pregnancy, she has 28% of chance of getting preterm labor in this pregnancy. If she has three preterm pregnancy, then she has more than 70% of chances getting preterm labor this pregnancy. So I'll discuss about causes only in this video. So causes, so first thing is cervix and cervical insufficiency. So generally in normal lady, cervix is totally made up of collagen, elastin, proteoglycans, connective tissues, okay, collective tissues and all, and other fibrous tissues. Okay, whereas if this lady become pregnant, then this collagen content will be becoming less and the water content will become more. Okay, and this occurs in a process manner. But if in early pregnancy, only if this condition occurs, then there is early ripening or early dilatation and effacement of the cervix occur. Okay, early dilatation and effacement of the cervix occur. So this results in preterm labor. So that's one point. And second cause is if the mother is using DES. So if she use diethyl stilbestrol, then she'll have a very weakened cervix. Nowadays this is absolute, it's not been used by anyone, so maybe this is also one of the reason. If there is having any cervical surgeries, if she has any cone biopsy, okay, if she has any large loop excision of transformation zone, and if she had any tracheolectomy operations, in tracheolectomy, mainly in case of cancer cervix, if tracheolectomy is done, compulsory she should undergo cervical encirclage. What? Cervical encirclage. So cervical encirclage is something like an operation which is done at the level of external os. We'll take a non-absorbable suture and we'll do this. So generally if she's having a cancer cervix and we do the trachelectomy. After some treatment, then you can go for encerclage operation, or in early pregnancy also you can go for encerclage operation. So that's about cancer, cervix, and any cervical surgeries. And if she has any cervical lacerations, for example, in previous pregnancy, if she has any cervical injury, if some forceps been applied, if some other instruments been applied, the cervical laceration injury is present, then also she'll have a preterm labor. If she's had a history of dilatation and evacuation, so more number of instrumentation and dilatation of the cervix can leads to weakening of the cervical smooth muscle fibers and results in cervical incompetency. Okay, that's why RCOG recommends that to use a tablet known as Misoprostol before doing DNA. This is best so that it medically get dilated. Okay, the other thing is infections. Okay, there is one standard acronym, that is this: microbial invasion of amniotic cavity. So amniotic cavity, if it is microbially invaded, then it can result in infection and it results in preterm labor. So generally mycoplasma, okay, chlamydia, and gonorrhea, and group B beta hemolytic streptococci. These are different infections which are seen in case of preterm labor. Other conditions like connective tissue disorders. Okay, if there is any connective tissue disorders like Marfan's or Ehlers-Danlos, it also can result in preterm labor. Other conditions like multiple pregnancy, if they are twins, then the usual gestation will be more, that it doesn't give time for the cervix to get lengthened. So in multiple gestation also you can have a twins. Generally you can see twins will be born at preterm labor. So in multiple gestation also you have a preterm labor. Not only this condition, there are some other conditions like infections and all. Okay, these are the different conditions and causes for preterm labor. So in next video I'll tell about how to screen, how to investigate, okay, and how to manage the patient in preterm labor. Thank you.